So Lima, one last question. If you think about the new people coming into data, the younger folks, what's your advice as to what they should focus on and what they should emphasize in terms of the skills they're developing and the kinds of areas where they should develop professionally?
I think that it's interesting the way that data has evolved over the years, that critical thinking is a lot more important, I think, than it used to be. In some ways, I'd rather have somebody who can think outside the box and less important about what tool they can use. I can teach you a tool. It's hard to teach you how to get that mindset of critical thinking and creativity, innovation, ideas. I often ask people in an interview, like, what kind of things do you do with data outside of work? Maybe it's unfair, but, I'm curious. I think that because, there's many areas in our lives where, data does impact us, and, how they've used data to affect something that wasn't work related speaks volumes for the type of person they are and how they're using data. So number one, I would say it's not just about the data in this case. It's really about, the problem solving. A lot of times I'll joke with my team and say, we're taking all your titles away and you're going to be problem solver 1 and problem solver number 2 and problem solver 3. Because that's really what it comes down to is, we use data to solve problems. I guess, from a technology perspective, it's a lot of the newer tools, do a lot for you in terms of the user interfaces. But I think the SQL skill set never goes away. No matter what tool you're using, having that back-end expertise to be able to get in and kind of use or see kind of where there might be issues. Obviously, visualization and storytelling right now is really important. Being able to, depending upon what path you're going, right? If you're going the engineer path, then I would say, absolutely, you can't stop at data. You've got to go to big data because there's so much that we do now that's commingled, especially in my world. We look at skills rather than job titles. Well, skills come from things like resumes and job descriptions and blobs of text that, we have to use some complex natural language processing on to get to the engineers to that level. To, on my team, the engineers typically have extended numbers of years in both Python as well as in like a SQL or SSIS type applications. And then on the analytics side, though, I think having the ability to really have that education around some of the different visualization tools, whether it's Tableau or Power BI, doesn't really matter, or any of the other dozen or so that are out there. I think that what's more important is what type of problems did you solve with the tool? Because if you were, regardless of the tools all kind of work, you'll find similarities and you'll find, good, bad, and different things in every one. So having specific tool sets really isn't a requirement on our data science side. Most of my data scientists actually have backgrounds in physics, I think, strangely, just because they came up through.
Amazing.
Yeah. And another thing we look at is, from on the data side, I think beyond kind of the storytelling is just the analysis. It's hard to find analysts who have both the expertise to kind of look at the raw data and visually with their eyes know, like, this isn't right, this is an anomaly. Maybe it's more of a data mining exercise more so. Obviously having classwork and things like master data management and other things is helpful, but I think if you have the core, you really, more than anything, you've got to have the desire to want to use data to solve business problems.
Yeah. Well, it's been amazing talking to you, and I can tell you, as even at in my stage in my career, listening to you talk, like I would love to come and work for you.
Aw.
You've got all the right principles at work, and truly inspirational what you're doing. And I really, really thank you for taking the time to catch up and share your thoughts.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much. This was a
All right.
lot of fun. I don't do this too often, so I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Great to catch up. Really would love to spend more time together at some point if you
Yeah,
were up for it.
absolutely.